this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go!
I just had like 4 of those little itty bitty baby Snickers bars because, okay, so Jesse has this weird little Yoda that holds a bowl and sometimes he puts candy in the bowl, and I went in there to ask Jesse a thing, and it turned out that I left with like 4 Snickers bars in my hands. Don't judge. Also, this show is not sponsored by Snickers. Yeah, let's talk about news. First things first, I'm the realist. Oh. So first things first is that John Romero, one of the creators of Doom, has released a new Doom level. 21 years? 21 years after Doom was released? I mean, sure, why not? He is calling it Tech Gone Bad, and it's his version of the level E1M8. It's on Twitter. It's in like a Dropbox link, so you can totally just grab it and play it. I don't know how to make those things work, but people in the comment section of various articles were talking about how to do it, so it should be pretty easy to figure out how to play it if you wanted to. It's interesting though, right? This idea that you can take a game that was made forever ago, and if you're the creator of that game, or even if you're not the creator of that game, you can go and just be like, oh, I modded this, or oh, I made a new level, or oh, I made it so that the main character looks like Buddy Holly. After exiting the computer station, you knew the worst was up ahead. You still hadn't reached the place where the demons were coming from. The steel door shuts behind you as you realize you're there. You're at the Phobos anomaly. Cracks from hell are all over the place as seepage from the portal invades the entire installation. Now it's time to find the portal and stop the demons from coming through. You know UAC had hundreds of scientists working at a high-tech lab somewhere in this area, and the portal must be connected to it somehow. Time to lock and load. I think if they had a choice, they would have wanted me to say lock and load a bit more badass. Sadly, I did not, and there is no going back. Black Desert Online is a Korean MMO that a lot of people have been looking forward to, but maybe not for the reasons that you would expect. The people who have played in the beta have said that it's very beautiful, like a very beautiful game. It's still a ways out from releasing, but they decided, because everybody was so jazzed about their character creator, they decided to release it separately so that people could play around with it. Now, this character creator has been lauded as basically allowing you to make anyone you can dream of, right? And the only nitpicking that I've seen from really anybody has been, they don't look quite real enough, right? Like the skin textures still feel a bit too anime, which, fine. Like, that's fine. I think, like, beyond that, beyond the textures that they're utilizing, what people are really shocked by is the level of detail in creating faces, right? And being able to make somebody look identical if you wanted. Any of you who have that super, super artistic friend who can just look at a face and be able to recreate it on paper, and you think to yourself, I don't understand how you are able to look at a person and see all of those individual little aspects of their face and then recreate them. That's how I feel when I'm trying to recreate somebody in a character creator that allows for a lot of flexibility, right? They're like, oh, you can basically make anybody you want. And I'm like, ooh, I can't see why mine looks like Gook and you are a face, a beautiful face. And for me, should look the same, but they do not. A lot of conversation has been coming out asking whether or not you would be able to export these. So, like, maybe you'd be able to create a person who was, you know, identical to your loved one, and then be able to export them and use them in another program somehow. But that has not been confirmed. Nobody can really confirm whether or not that's a thing you would be able to do in the future, or if you can do it now. But there's obviously some interest there, right? So I think that it would be kind of silly if they didn't allow that, unless it was like, well, we don't want you using our character creator to make your own characters for your game, right? But if there is interest there in allowing people to utilize them in other programs for their personal projects and whatnot, then maybe there would be some interest in just releasing the character creator as a separate piece of software. As a side note, Blade and Soul also came out, which is another Korean MMO that's a bit older, so like the other one Still hasn't come out. Blade and Soul has been out since 2010, I believe. So it's, it's a bit older, but people are saying there's a lot of similarities. So if you are looking for a new MMO to play, Blade and Soul, a lot of people are really enjoying it, and it's free to play. So there's that. In the ongoing conversation of why Twitch bans the games that they ban, Yandere Simulator is the newest game to not be allowed on the site. Why, you might ask? And nobody's really sure. Yandere Simulator is a game where you are a yandere, and if you don't know what a yandere is, oh my gosh, it just turns out I have a video about them that you could totally watch and experience it for yourself, but if you don't want to watch that, that's totally fine. Basically, this is a game where you are in love with a boy, and you want to murder all the girls in the world. And you might say, alright, well, just from that very brief description, I can maybe conjure up in my mind plenty of reasons that this game would be problematic for a site, right? But, I mean, the problem here is that Twitch won't respond and explain why they ban games and for what reason, right? They'll just be like, well, here's our terms of service, kind of figure it out, right? They have a list of games that are banned, they have a terms of use, and then you're just kind of expected to accept it. And I think that when, especially for a dev like Yandere Dev, which is what he goes by, with a dev like Yandere Dev who is saying, like, there are things in this game that I can change. There are things in this game that I can, that I can switch up in order to fix the problem that you're finding with my game, but because there's no conversation here, because you're not having a discussion with me, I don't know what the problem is. If it has to do with the fact that you're murdering girls, that is, in fact, the core purpose of the game, and that's not something I can change. But if you have a problem with, like, perceived underage quality of the girls or something like that, there are things about the game that I can change. But I need to know what's wrong. And it should be stated, this game is not even close to being released. I don't think he's been putting out newer and newer builds all the time. He's been adding more and more to the game. But, I think that there's kind of a expectation that if a game isn't allowed on Twitch, yeah, it'll probably get brought up in discussion a lot. Like, people will talk about it a lot. And that's good for the game at large, but not being able to stream it when streaming has become such a big thing is a problem that a dev wants to be able to fix if possible. As a fan of Yandere tropes, I'm very excited for Yandere Simulator. It's sad that I wouldn't be able to play it on Twitch, possibly. But, yeah, I just hope that dialogue opens up. I hope that in the future, Twitch is willing, I mean, they're such a big company now, right? Like, I hope that in the future they'd be willing to discuss with devs, why they don't think that their game is suitable for the platform. That's all. Donald Rumsfeld, who is 83 right now, has developed an iOS game. It might also be on Android, but as far as I know, it's only on iOS. It is Winston Churchill's version of Solitaire. I guess he learned it forever ago, and so he wanted to make a game that was this version of Solitaire, this very grueling, very difficult version of Solitaire, so he says, and also work in some, like, historical elements so that it sort of educated you about the war and stuff like that. I have downloaded the game, and from the rules, it seems like totally normal Solitaire. I don't know. I'm confused. I went through the entire rule set, and it explained how to play it. I was like, I think this is just normal Solitaire, but that's fine. And then I went to try and play campaign mode, right? So, like, the campaign mode, like, takes you up the ranks as you play through it. And it prompted me to pay for it, which I thought was strange. I was like, I don't understand what aspects of this game are free. That it's like they let you download the program, like the framework to be able to play the game, but you have to pay for parts of the game, but they don't tell you how much those parts are. It's very weird. And maybe I'm just, like, not interacting with it very well. Maybe the user interface is kind of, like, weirding me out, but yeah, I was having a problem with the game. It doesn't matter, though. Because the best part of this whole thing is that Donald Rumsfeld, while working with the people who made this game, right, with his devs, he used a dictaphone to give them notes. And I just, oh my god, it's so awesome. We have an 83-year-old man with a dictaphone who is giving memos to his devs and being like, how come when we got rid of the bugs, it just made more bugs? And then saying things like, you guys are getting way too artsy with this. It just needs to be informational. Like, I love it. I love it. I want more old people who were once in places of power to make mobile games. Please. If I unlock the magical secrets of Churchill's Solitaire, I will let all of you know, but as of right now, I've clicked on everything and I'm very confused. For those of you who don't know, the Minecraft EDU program was bought by Microsoft, and again, backing up even more, for those of you who don't know, Microsoft also bought Minecraft forever ago. Minecraft EDU was developed with this idea of, hey, you can actually utilize Minecraft to develop a lot of skills in kids and use it educationally. So Microsoft was like, cool, we'll grab that and we'll turn it into a real thing. Not saying that Minecraft EDU was not a real thing, but like, you know, an officially sanctioned thing, I suppose. This new version is called Minecraft Education Edition, and for any of you who are going, how do you utilize Minecraft, like, for basic educational purposes, that isn't super clear to me. I mean, you can definitely speculate, like they've said that the way that they're creating the interface is so that it works a little bit better with like a student system, like having a teacher or just somebody who's, you know, in charge of all of the kids and having a group of students who are all connected. But like, you know, if you were to venture a guess, there's lots of different aspects of electronics that people have figured out in Minecraft. There's obviously, you know, like planning, logical thinking, things like that can be explored. But they're hoping to make it really easy to use it for like arts and sciences and history and things like that, which I think would be really, really cool. Because we know that there have been people who are so talented that can be like, oh, I created all of Hobbiton in Minecraft. Like, how cool would it be if you could recreate something historical in Minecraft, which I'm sure plenty of people have, but for the express purpose of using it for educational. For educational, because that was the proper end of that sentence. You're welcome, Internet. The list of changes: enhanced maps with coordinates for students and teachers to find their way around the Minecraft world together. Student portfolios, where students can take photos and selfies to show their work and what they've learned. Enhanced multiplayer, a classroom of up to 40 students can work together toward a greater world in Minecraft. Logins and personalizations for students to have personalized avatars and feel more engaged in the game, which I think already exists in Minecraft, like being able to have, you know, an avatar that looks like how you want it, but whatever. And world import and export so that teachers and students can create and save their worlds in the game, which I also think is just like a normal aspect of Minecraft, but maybe I'm wrong. I think more than anything, because they don't want to like go against what Minecraft is, right? So it seems like rather than having all of these specific teaching tools that they're implementing, they're trying to create an interface that is more geared toward a group of people or like a group of students. And we all know how creative people can be, so I'm sure there are gonna be some teachers out there who are like, oh dang, I know exactly what to do with this. And if you can think of something cool, you should let us know in the comment section. Or if you've worked with Minecraft EDU before, because I've seen a lot of people responding to this topic being like, oh, I've used that, and it's actually really, really cool with the right group of kids and if you have the right ideas. And as a final bit of news, the Overwatch closed beta. I have been missing Overwatch so hard. So on Thursday, when they like put out a little press release, kind of more like a blog post, but when they basically talked to us a little bit about the closed beta, I was real excited. So we know that they're working on progression. Awesome. They looked at player feedback, and they have confirmed that by the time the game comes back, we will have a new game mode. A new game mode, you say? What could it possibly be? I honestly have no idea. We also know that there's gonna be new maps implemented, and they're also working on the balance of the game in general, which makes a lot of sense. I just miss my sweet junk butt, that junk butt life, best girl. I can't wait to play it again. But having a new game mode is going to be interesting because I'm trying to think to myself, like, what could the game mode be? And I'm not positive. But I know that Blizzard is really creative and they do cool stuff, so since I love this game so much, I'm really excited to see what a new game mode is going to be. And I'm also really excited to see how they're going to implement some more progression into the game, because everybody was like, oh, I just want something. You know, I just want more, to feel like I'm being rewarded for being so actively dedicated to the game, right? Rather than try to rush a beta patch out this month, we're going to take a few extra weeks before bringing the closed beta back. By doing so, we can make sure we include the new game mode along with new maps. This will also allow us to do some additional polish to the game's progression and the reward system. Though all these features will still technically be a work in progress during the beta, we'd like them to be at a certain quality bar before releasing them for testing. So, typical Blizzard, right? They're saying, you know what, we know exactly where we want the game to be before we go back into closed beta. It's going to take us a little bit more time, but don't worry, it's going to be worth it. And I trust you. I trust you, Blizzard, I do. Anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you'd like to have coffee with me, or if you would like to just see my vloggy channel, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it will take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you again. Not next week because I'll be at PAX. Whoa! I'll see if somebody else can do news, though. Who could do news? Who would you like to see do news? Yeah, I throw it to you, dear viewer. Who would you like to see do news? Who? I want to know. All right, bye.
Go.
You're welcome, Internet.